if they are found, fight. Fight with everything that they have in their being. Claw, scratch, scream, kick, bite. Do not be taken. Hello, friends. Welcome back. I am Jason, and a family emergency plan is not something that needs to be overcomplicated. You can go to a weekend seminar and learn how to develop a family emergency plan. And I'm not saying that those aren't worthwhile. I'm not saying you won't learn a lot from those. It's not the place you have to start. A lot of people don't make any kind of emergency plan whatsoever because they think it's just some overwhelming, daunting task that they don't have any expertise in, and therefore they can't possibly form any kind of useful plan in the event of some sort of emergency in a large gathering public place. And that's just not the case. All it takes is just a little bit of forethought, and when something should go wrong, a disaster should strike, an active shooter event, whatever it may be in this large public gathering place, if you're in the Costco or the concert or the whatever, doesn't matter. If you'll be much more prepared and you'll be one step ahead and be much more likely to be able to save your loved ones. I was at Costco. I generally don't like big concerts. I don't like going to huge big gatherings and stuff like that. I just don't enjoy it. I don't like the crowds. I don't like the traffic. It's just a big ordeal that I don't enjoy doing. But from time to time, I find myself there because my wife enjoys these types of things. But I was at Costco day before yesterday. My wife is ridiculous. She blew out her ACL. She tore her meniscus, so we had to drive down to Atlanta a couple hours away to do a orthopedic surgeon visit. Anyway, after that, even though she's crippled, can't walk, can't move, she still had to go to Costco. She's ridiculous. She's a ridiculous woman, but I love her very much. So, took her to Costco. She's got her leg. She's in the little buggy cart, the electric cart thing with her leg propped up on the basket. So silly. Silly image. Anyway, and I'm thinking to myself while I'm in this really crowded public place, I'm thinking to myself, if there was an active shooter event at this place right now with my wife in this condition, what would I do? So I started to develop a plan in my own head, and I just used common sense, and I tried to think of what would be the most rational way to go about saving my wife and getting her out of this location as fast as possible. So if I was to hear, let's say, a gunshot in the distance, right, or even close by, I guess the proximity would determine what I would do, and it would change my reaction and how I would respond. If it was very, very close to me, I would immediately use a concealed device, and I would do my best to take care of the problem because I have trained with it. I'm very efficient with that tool, and I know how to use it. Would I respond perfectly? I don't know. You don't know until you're in the situation, and there's always going to be 20/20 hindsight, and there's always going to be armchair quarterbacks judging your decisions that you had to make in a split second. So, but having some sort of plan. So, let's say there was a distant shoot over on the far side of the building. What I would do, because that little electric buggy thing is so ridiculously slow, what I would do is I would basically just snatch my wife up over my shoulder, and I would go to the closest exit. Now, on thinking about this video and planning to do this video, I did a little bit of research, and I looked up active shooter events, and I looked up videos of chaos in public places, and people just freak out for the most part. And they make very irrational decisions. I watch videos of people running right by exits, right by the emergency exit, heading towards the main door, which is what most people will try to do. They'll try to go out the way that they came in, and that's where the funnel is going to be, and that's where the most danger is going to be. And if I was a bad guy, that's where I would be lying in wait. Knowing where the closest exits are, I think, are crucial, and just having a constant awareness of what the easiest way out. If I'm in a big, large public place like the Costco, I know where the closest exit is. I've always got that in my peripheral. I'm always aware of it. I know I just passed one, I just walked by it, the next one's right there. I'm not saying I'm paranoid and I'm walking around like a crazy person all the time expecting this to happen, but I do have just a basic situational awareness, and I know where that closest exit is, so I could snatch my wife up, throw her over my shoulder, and run out as quickly as possible. What you doing?
Giving you your food.
I like food. What is this? Oh, thank you, Scarlett. You're an angel. And a brownie? Get out of town. You're the best. Thanks, got it.
Bye-bye.
Love you. Love you.
Nah.
I love you.
Nah.
You're my best friend. Bye-bye. I have also read accounts of situations like this overseas where terrorist attacks have happened, and basically what happened in this large public gathering places, there was people waiting. There were bad guys waiting at those exits as well, waiting for people to come out, and it's terrifying and very, very sad. So I would say just booming out the closest exit maybe isn't the smartest idea. You should probably approach with caution and take a look outside and make sure the coast is clear, make sure the area is safe before you go, and then just get yourself away from that building and your loved ones away from that building as fast as possible. In these types of events, all sorts of craziness can happen, and you just can't predict everything. So let's say you and your wife and kids are in this Costco. Let's take this for example. You're in this large public place, and your wife sends you on the far side of the building to go get something. She wants the eggs in the refrigerated section on the far side of the building while she's looking for something else. Pretty common, right? So you go get that. That's when the bad things happen, right? So you hear the shots then, whatever, an explosion happens, something like that. Then what do? Well, hopefully you can get to your loved one as quickly as possible, but maybe not. So having some sort of plan ahead of time where maybe they know in this situation, you've discussed this ahead of time with them and you've planned this out. You tell them, hey, if something goes wrong in this situation, get yourselves to the closest exit and get out of the building as fast as possible. And they know to do that. And you know that they know to do that. So you're not going to be as worried about them being in the building somewhere. I think it's important to start quizzing your kids and your wife, whoever it is that you're responsible for, and start quizzing them on these things. Ask them, just pop quiz. Where's the closest exit? Where is it? How would you get out of here if something was to go down? And let them think it through and plan it out. They probably, chances are, if you pop quiz them, they're not going to know. It's just getting your mind in a constant habit of being situationally aware of your surroundings. Quiz your kids. Have them, when you're in the store and you're checking out, or the concert, or whatever it is that you're at, have them navigate their way back to the vehicle. Where is our truck? Where did we park the truck? Can you get us to it? And follow them around and let them get you to it. Chances are, at first, they won't know how to do that. They'll be completely lost. They won't know which direction to go because they're 100% reliant upon you to take care of them and guide them on their way through life. But if we start quizzing them, when we start engaging their minds and forcing them to pay attention to their surroundings and where they are, I think this will be really beneficial for our families, and it's a really good first step in developing that family emergency plan. So have your kids get you and your family back to the vehicle. I'm not saying getting to the vehicle is necessarily the safest option, but I think it's just good for them to understand where it is so we can have a centralized meeting location. Once the dust settles, maybe, and everybody is scattered. What do you want? What? Once the dust has settled and we are and the police have shown up and the situation is safe and all clear, and maybe we are separated because of the chaos, they'll know how to get back to the vehicle and we can all meet in that centralized safe location. Immediately running to your vehicle in a situation like that and trying to skedaddle out of there may or may not be the best solution, because that's going to be a chaotic situation. Generally speaking, in big events, big venues, large shopping centers, there's only so many ways out. And those ways out are going to be blocked with crazy traffic and people crashing into one another. And you might just get stuck, which could leave you being a sitting duck. Getting as far away from that immediate danger zone is going to be a really important, crucial strategy. And if that means that you just gather up your loved ones and you just beeline it as far away and as fast as you can get in whatever direction that seems the safest, I think that's a good idea. But having that thought out ahead of time, I think, is important. Dressing appropriately. I was at Costco, sitting in the driver's seat. I was waiting for my wife to get ready to go, finish up a couple things on her phone and stuff like that. Whatever, you know how it is. Letting her get ready to go. And in front of me, there's this woman that's unloading her cart, her buggy. And she's got heels on that are about this big. Now, I'm not even exaggerating. They were huge, like 5-6 inch heels. It was ridiculous. She's grocery shopping in these. at Costco. She's loading all this crap up in here as her cart's trying to roll away. She's trying to load stuff up in there. She gets in her Tesla, right? She doesn't even close the trunk. The thing's just flapping open, and she's trying to back up. And thankfully, I think Teslas are really smart cars, and they don't allow you to hit things, because she was backing up and nearly running into me and nearly running into the curb and all kinds of stuff. If she didn't have a smart car, I'm sure she would have crashed several times on the way out. And her trunk, in the meanwhile, is flopping open up and down as she pulls out into traffic. Anyway, she was at second glance and third glance, she was extremely unprepared for any kind of disaster type situation to go down. If something was to go wrong in that setting, if there was an active shooter or something like that to happen at the Costco, she would be in bad shape. She's not dressed appropriately, for one, in her skirt and high heels. She wouldn't be able to run. She wouldn't be fast enough to get out of there. And she just probably has very low situational awareness. And I'm obviously making a lot of assumptions based on what I've seen here, but you get what I'm saying. Dress appropriately. When you're in public places that potentially, a threat could be present and something really bad could happen, dress appropriately. Dress in active wear and something that you can, maybe it's not the most fashionable, it's not the prettiest, it's not the cutest, whatever it is. And guys, same thing. You got dress shoes on, whatever. Can you run in those? Can you jump in those? Can you hide? Can you do the things? Can you judo kick the bad guy in his head with those on? Or are you going to slip and fall and crack your melon on the ground? I don't know. Just think these things through and be prepared. Be as prepared as possible for these types of situations. Parking your vehicle really close to the building, close to the structure, whatever it is that you're at, it may or may not be a very good idea. Yes, you could get to it quicker, but that's where all the chaos is going to be, and you might get locked in there really fast. I think, in my opinion, it's probably smarter to park further away for lots of reasons, but it's probably smarter to park further away because you're not going to be as jammed in there. You're not going to be jam-packed. You might be able to get to the further exit faster than everybody else. And usually, parking further away is just more convenient in the first place. You're not fighting over parking spots. You're not worried about that stuff. You can usually just pull right in and get out. So I just think parking further away is probably smart. Backing into your spot is probably smart. Not always convenient, not always easy, but backing into your spot is probably a good idea. When it comes to kids or adults, doesn't really matter. Kids are really good at this. Play hide and go seek with your kids, and they're pretty good. When they need to hide and they need to be hidden from view, they're pretty good at it. All it takes to hide from a potential threat, if somebody wants to hurt them, is for them to run, hide, be still, and be quiet. Teach them this skill. If there's a threat, there's somebody that wants to do us harm, run, hide, be still, be quiet. And that will probably solve most of their problems. Your kids can run fast. If they are found, fight. Fight with everything that they have in their being. Claw, scratch, scream, kick, bite. Do not be taken by anybody that would be potential kidnappers or anything like that. Teach your kids to fight no matter what and do not be taken. So, in a large public gathering place, if disaster was to strike, whatever that may look like, have some sort of plan ahead of time, and that's going to increase the speed at which you react to it. And doing something, anything, doesn't matter what it is going to be better than just sitting there frozen in fear. I've read and I've looked into several military studies where it really didn't matter what the decision was, good decision, bad decision, it almost always fares better. You will almost always fare better by acting. Doesn't matter what your decision is, if you act and you do something, it's going to be better than doing nothing. So having some sort of plan, it doesn't have to be the perfect plan, it just needs to be a plan, and you need to act on that plan. I think that's going to be the key, and having the discussions with your loved ones ahead of time is going to be really, really important. Anyway, guys, I'd really love to hear what you think about this. I think it's a super important subject that doesn't get touched on that much. And I think it's something that people dodge and avoid and don't really discuss. I think 99% of the people that were in that Costco would have no plan. They would have no idea what to do if disaster was to happen when they were in there. And I think that we need to increase that 1% to 2% to 3% to a large percentage of people. We need to spread the word, and we need to have disaster plans. We need to have emergency action plans in place before the disaster happens. Love to hear what you think in the comments. Tell me what your plan is, not necessarily your specific plan. Don't leave that out there for the interwebs to read, but tell me if you've got a plan. Tell me that you're going to start working on a plan, and I just, it means a lot to me that we're all as a community going to start becoming more prepared. So leave that in the comments for me. Hit that thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and share this video with someone that you think that needs it. Can't wait to see you on the next one. I'm Jason Sawyer with Survival Dispatch. As a Survival Dispatch insider, you'll be able to gain the knowledge, the skills, and equipment necessary to protect your family when it really, really matters. They'll provide crucial information on such things as stockpiling food, medical necessities, communication plans. You will receive specific, actionable plans. You can deliver proven techniques to help you get home, shelter in place, or bug out safe.